Are you ready? To open up to remember and those that are hearing my voice, seeing my face, will notice very few words. The analytical mind will be confused, but the soul will know. Because my words are not my own. They are reminders to your soul of what it is being ready to not learn or search for, but to simply remember. And these words are your reminder. This will probably be one of the last broadcasts where I'm referring to notes, because I've been told the time is short for notes. I was glad when I got that bit of information today, because I'd been heavily relying on notes, and they're serving a purpose for now, but a time will come where there'll be no notes. Now, the new way of doing these live streams, offering more silence, guess what's going to happen? I'm already seeing it. The numbers are going to go right down. You know, the whole mind doesn't have time for silence. And his content, information, and then there is you, the soul that is perceiving. So most people will drop off, fall away. Algorithms will mirror people's short interaction, and numbers will go down. Now, of course, to the analytical mind, it would appear to be foolishness. But these videos are not meant for numbers. These videos, live streams, are meant to activate and awaken those who are ready. And that is you. And that is what this teaching is all about. Transformation requires release before transformation. before elevation. Many feel the pull to change, but hesitate due to fear. Where does fear arise? The mind, the analytical, the conscious. When I embody the stillness, energy shifts. Words will move emotion. Silence will activate the soul. My broadcasts are more about the energy than what is being spoken, what is being heard. My soul to yours is transmitting information, energy. If algorithmically we move from hundreds watching to one or two, and one or two are activating and receiving, it is much better than having hundreds not activated. The past has no power over you unless you allow it to have power over you. You are able to relive the past, replay it in your mind. As you play it out in your mind, you experience a reoccurrence of emotion. You relive. And often what we relive is the nightmare. The only power that the past has over you is the power you give it. What are you afraid of losing from stepping away from the old version of yourself? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change also. This quote comes from Dr. Wayne Dyer, one of my teachers. What false labels have you placed upon yourself? What fear and limitation keeps you trapped in expired identities? My fear, my limitation was what was told to me. Hello, Lizzie. I see you there. When I was a child, when I was young, I was told that I was inadequate, slow, limited, dyslexic. They said, Paul will never read and write properly. He won't be able to exist in the world. And Paul picked up that identity and carried that identity, because that was what the system taught Paul to believe he was. What do you think? Do you perceive Paul as slow? Or do you sense something else? And now to you. What labels did they attach to you? What did they say you were? What did they tell you you couldn't do? What has become familiar? You cannot put new wine in old wineskins. Mark 2:22. More modernly put, old eating habits don't fit a new awareness of positive eating. You want a new body, a new vessel, a healthier one. You can't put in the same old food. And likewise, you cannot put new wine into old wineskins. What is the biggest lie that you have believed about yourself? What is the cost of holding on to the lies, the labels, illusions, mental constructs, form, identities? The illusion of security, holding on to what feels familiar, and ultimately what keeps you small. Fear prophesies failure. Faith prophesies resurrection. The split I talk about is a diversion, a nexus point, an inevitable event that must come to pass. It is where two paths separate, where two realities split. One will be left, the other will be taken. Old mindsets block new blessings. You cannot enter the promised land while longing for Egypt. The past is over. It only exists if you keep feeding it. Release deeply that the present moment is all you have. Realize the present moment is all you have. Everything else is a reflection or a projection. In the present moment. This awareness, this realization simplifies what the mind has dramatized, exacerbated, magnified, complicated. How is your story stealing your future? The transformation has already begun. The separation is already in motion. My advice to you, my encouragement to you, stop resisting it. Allow it to happen. Allow what you no longer require to fall away naturally on its own as a byproduct of your expansion, of your elevation, of your awakening. I give this moment now for those who would like to write something down. Perhaps you can use your device to record it, or a pen and a piece of paper to record it. But I ask you to write down what you are afraid of to release. And when you write, with intention, ask that your soul is the one doing the writing, not your mind. I'm allowing space, perhaps where there wasn't any space to get clear before, due to the busyness. With this much more intimate group, many will fall away for the lack of pace. Those who remain will have space to go deeper into awakening, awareness, and into realization. Surrender. To the analytical mind, surrender means giving up, losing, allowing defeat. But to the divine, surrender is the final act of activation, of awakening, of resurrection. partial surrender is still resistance. Holding on to even 1% of the past, of the story, blocks the fullness of the new, of the real, of the expanded. The enemy of transformation is hesitation. What you refuse to let go of controls you. Faith is moving forward before you can see. Do not be conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Perhaps a more modern interpretation would be by the rewiring of your mind. Brain adaptation, neuroplasticity, neural pathways, renewing or rewiring your mind, transforming, changing. When you renew your mind, when you rewire your mind, you create different neural pathways where you step out of predictable patterns and you step out into the unknown, the new, the unrealized. When Jesus walked on water, he stepped out of the boat and he walked where no other walked before. What were all those minds that were witnessing and perceiving? What were they thinking? They feared for his safety. They thought he was crazy. And then he walked. His faith enabled an alignment to the divine. When you are aligned with the divine, you enter the state of faith. When you enter the state of faith and you walk, some call it miracles. I call it alignment. Your natural state, your soul's natural state. The mind would have us believe that miracles don't happen every day. So minds believe that miracles don't happen every day, and minds create no miracles every day. Transformation is not a mindset. Transformation is a decision. A alignment. Bold faith brings bold results. Could you say to your old self, you're not invited to my future? Could you say to it that you ain't invited to the party? You're staying back there. I'm doing it differently. I'm rewiring my brain. What bold step could you take today that aligns with your new identity? If you're able to in your environment, could you perhaps stretch your arms wide and declare, perhaps even stand up? If you are ready for this, I want you to affirm these words with me. And as you affirm, believe the words. I am who the divine says I am. I release the old patterns and I embrace the new. I am who the divine says I am. And I release the old and embrace the new. Now, allow yourself to receive this divine alignment. Feel the energy moving through your body, washing over you, healing, aligning, washing away all that does not serve you any longer. You may notice a different energy. You might think this is a waste of time and now leave the broadcast. You may not feel anything, but you have a inner knowing that something within you has shifted. You might be watching this live stream 12 months down the line, 6 months down the line, or you might be on the live. The energy will be the same if you open up and allow it to do what you were unable to do in its absence. The old is over. It only remains if you refuse to let it go. Some are remembering now that they've had the choice all along. Some are releasing patterns, beliefs, struggles, fears, trauma, pain, sickness, disease. Some are deepening in their awareness. Some are having aha moments. Some are having deja vu, like they've lived this before, that they knew this already. And others may be observing from the sidelines, trying to analyze and work out what is going on. I want to open up this last part of the transmission for questions. We have 12 again on the live stream. Some of you have heard me say I like when I see 12, just like Jesus had 12. To the analytical mind, 12 isn't very impressive. And yet 12 activated souls change the course of this reality. Not through religion, but through embodiment. Religion came after. and hijacked and twisted and distorted divine truth. I, like many, are here to remind you, to tell a different story, to speak a different narrative. To the very few that have ears to hear and eyes to see what is really true, what is truth beyond the illusion, beyond the veil of illusion. And my work as a guide, as a teacher, as someone that will help you activate, is to guide and lead you beyond the veil of illusion and to look beyond the veil. What is beyond the veil? What is beyond the veil is not new, but real. What is beneath the veil is illusion, is distortion, is corruption, is a backward reflection of what is real and what is divine. Lizzie resonates. The divine said to me, if we get the numbers down on the videos, those that do not resonate will fall away through lack of interest, lack of stimulation, lack of entertainment. Those who remain will be ready, even if it's one or two. That is a good use of my hour here broadcasting with you. And so we have Lizzie and we have Soren. The mind will say we need to save the world. The soul will say, I need to help others awaken. My mind is quiet, no question. What a blessing. The divine told me that when I go live, I don't have to really say much. because the energy in which I embody has much more to say than I could ever. Silence is a language communicating with this being, this soul that sits before you, and your soul. Who would you be if you allowed yourself to be the vessel also? I wonder if we're confusing the algorithm with the silence. I wonder if you can shadow ban silence. Because I was told these videos were already being shadow banned way before I was getting the truth that I'm sharing now. Perhaps one day I'll do one of these live stream transmissions with no words, just the spirit of truth connecting from here to you. I'm being shown that the recording of this transmission contains much. Perhaps you could save it. Listen as you drift off to sleep at night, or when you are craving silence, and revisit and allow not my words but the silence between them to communicate its language, its frequency. And to allow the divine that I am embodying to enter into your life and to do what it is doing to me, and that is to and is changing everything, transforming everything, healing everything. Until it reaches a point where you also become transformed. If there are no more questions, I will be back tomorrow for another transmission.